also to analyze the market. For instance, you can use Fibonacci with moving average. Fibonacci, for instance, doesn't tell you that price is going up or coming down. It doesn't. All it tells you is where would price probably turn. That's all. So you use it with other tools to give you other market information together. You understand?
Can you use it alone on its own?
Well, it depends on the trader. If a trader has mastered other, for instance, that's what we call what's it called now? It's like using price to determine what market wants to do. It's called price action.
Okay.
Price action is not about using indicators or whatever. It's just looking at the market, and when the market is behaving, the price is behaving, you know what markets wants to do. So if you know, if an expert in price action, for instance, you could use price action with Fibonacci, for instance, to determine where price will probably turn based on the action of the price.
Okay, let's look at a typical trade. Okay, trader sits, Forex trader sits down. He wants to plan his trade depending on what the fundamental news is driving the market that morning, and he decides at what time or what point will be most appropriate for him to use this Fibonacci. Okay. Compared to other analysts.
Let's look at a typical example. Okay. If you look at this chart I have here now, you have what we call a swing low. You can see a swing low point where we have the bottom there. Okay. And you see the straight line that goes up, and we have what we call a swing high up there. Now, when price goes up like that, it's expected that we have a pullback.
When you say pullback, meaning that
it's going to come down.
Investors are taking profit and it's coming out. Okay.
Yeah, just like last week Friday, we had a pullback on the Euro USD chart. You know, it was going up in an uptrend, and there was a pullback. It went downwards, where we thought, okay, there was a strength in the US dollars or a weakness in the euro, but there was a pullback. You always expect that kind of pullback. So price pulls back. Now, the issue is this: how much pullback do you expect? Is it going to go 100% downwards? Is it going to go 50%? Those levels of pullback are Fibonacci levels.
Okay, so if I am very much familiar with the Fibonacci rule or theory, I know that it's going to come down to a particular level, I can just wait, prepare, position myself.
To either place a buy if you expect that there's going to be continuous strength in that trend. Okay. You wait to pull back to that level, and because of the fact that a lot of people are also looking at that level you are looking at. That's for those
who know how to use it.
Yes, and they all place buy. You see price rallying up there. So traders who actually know how to use this don't trade blindly. They go in at those specific levels, and you will notice that price always reacts at those levels. If you check it, if you check the next chart we have there, you will notice that after that price pulled back, it pulled back at a 32.2% Fibonacci level. You know, if you check. So
if I was a trader and I know how to implement or identify this particular rule, I would be expecting it at that time, at that space, and I would wait there.
You see that at the 38.2 Fib level, you can see that price pulled back and went higher. So a trader who is blind would think that the price is going to keep coming down, but those who have the Fibonacci can actually know that there is a probability it's going to pull back at any of these levels.
And you say it's accurate, it works 70% of the time?
At least we can say average the Fibonacci works.
Because if you're saying 70%, that's a
But your capacity to interpret is where your judgment. But most of the time when you put your Fibonacci retracement or extension indicator on your platform, you notice that there's always reactions at Fibonacci levels in the market.
So how long would it take perhaps an amateur trader or someone who's just starting out at the market to learn this? Because I'm sure the viewers out there are wondering, okay, this sounds like a fantastic analysis tool. How soon can I learn?
The thing about Fibonacci is that initially when you start looking at it, it looks complex. It looks like,
you make it sound simple.
And sometimes it looks like you need a lot of faith to use it. Because you must believe. It's like you have to believe.
Is it about belief for knowing that because you plotted it because
you plotted it, but you have to understand that you have to understand that while you are plotting it, you are plotting for the future, not the past. You use the past to then plot it for the future. So at the time when the price is going to react in the future, you don't know what's going to happen yet, but you expect, you believe.
You're just generally optimistic.
Yeah, that is going to happen. And
isn't that a risk?
The way it works is that, just like the way faith works, is that when you use it most of the time and it works for you most of the time, then you start having more confidence in your capacity to interpret and use it. So if you don't exercise yourself in using it, you won't develop the belief enough to be able to say, oh, price is going to react here, and it keeps working for you.
No, because many traders might ask, is it about belief or faith or the fact that it has a track record? It has, it's something I can rely on to give me a certain...
Believe, I don't mean your belief is going to make it work. No. Okay. You see, for you to take the right step, because a lot of traders freeze sometimes when they're supposed to take action. Okay. And it's because of self-doubt. Okay. Yeah, what gives you confidence to take an action? I'm just using the word believe, but it's like that confidence to take that action is that you understand that that concept works. But you will not understand it until you use it most of the time. But the more you use it, the more you see it work, the more confidence you have, or the more belief you have, and the better it works for you.
Okay, so back to my question. I'm an amateur trader. I've gone through your... Okay, you said that it's part of what Alpari would teach or teaches at the basic class.
No, you see, Fibonacci is taught at the basic... What we're looking at right now is basic Fibonacci.
Oh, is it
on Wednesday when we come in, because I expect people who are watching right now to also try and watch it on Wednesday.
Yeah, perhaps. I'm sure they'll have questions.
Yeah, on Wednesday, we're going to be looking at it on the live market.
Okay,
we're going to be... Like right now, I'm just showing you charts. These charts are maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I'm just showing you examples of Fibonacci at work.
Okay.
But that day, we're going to be using Fibonacci to actually do live market analysis and use it to look at what market is going to do next week, look at what market is going to do next month, look at what market is going to do this year, try and look at support and resistance levels for this year with Fibonacci. So what I'm just trying to do is I'm trying to lay a foundation for those who might not know what Fibonacci is, so that by the time we come on Wednesday and we start analyzing and looking at it, you know, it not be 100% new to them. You understand? So that we're going to have like a series 2 of what we're talking about right now Wednesday. More practical, live market, looking at, you know, for the whole year, taking maybe Euro US as a currency pair, you know, and use Fibonacci to actually analyze and see what price is going to do this year.
Okay, any other information? What else can we learn from this Fibonacci? Have we looked at the price?
Let's look at extension example.
Okay.
If you look at my chart on Fibonacci extension, you see that price had what we call a rally up. You had a rally up, then it pulled back. And if you check that pullback, you also pulled back at the Fibonacci level.
Okay, that's what we're looking at. Right?
Yeah, there's a pullback at the Fibonacci level, you know. Now, price went up and broke the high. You can see the price would have, you know, would have been good, and it broke that level. Now, how do you know how far up price is going to go? Then you use what we call Fibonacci extension. You know, now those tools, it's not as if you have to go to your chart and draw the lines and calculate. No, the trading tools that you use, your trading platform, your trading software, actually has these tools there. So immediately you plot it on your chart, you see those extensions, you see those retracement levels. And if you know how to interpret properly, you know where you put your stop losses and you'll take profit. If you look at, you know, the next one, let's look at the next chart. You will see that after price broke that high, it went up, and you can see that it retraced at the 1.618 Fibonacci level up there.
Can you break that and make that sound more simple? At what was it? The currencies trading at that point, one currency was in the lead, or at some point investor decided to take profit or something?
Let's assume we're looking at, like right now we're looking at the USD CHF chart.
Okay.
Right? US dollar is strong. There's an uptrend. Price pulled back. Just like what's happening right now to the Euro USD. Euro USD has been an uptrend. Then it pulled back. Right now, we are going to plot what we call Fibonacci extension to know how far high into the future the Euro is going.
Okay.
You want to know how far. So right now, for instance, you plot a Fibonacci extension based on where price has been throughout maybe last 2 months. Then you now use that to predict what price is going to do, you know, maybe the next 2 months also.
Okay.
You understand? That's an extension. The extension actually means you're extending to the future in an uptrend. Okay. Retracement means you're trying to look at pullback levels, where price, when it pulls back, you're going to look at.
Okay, so was that all we can for now? You want to keep the rest under your hat, or you want to?
No, you know, like today, I'm just trying to, you know, show how Fibonacci works, what it is, you know, and actually how to plot it on the chart and things like that.
Okay. Well, I have been talking to Michael Akinwale. He's a currencies analyst, and we'll be looking at a very interesting market analysis tool for currencies traders at the market. It's called the Fibonacci, and of course, he has been talking about how you can properly implement this particular tool, helping you to decide when to take profit and when to retreat, as it were. Now, just on a programming notes, just to tell you that we will be hooking up live, having a live coverage on the presidential launch of Public Works Women and Youth Empowerment Program. It is going to be taking place at the banquet hall of the Presidential Villa in Abuja. We'll take a short break now, and we'll be back with the rest of the program. Please join us again.